As we turn into 2025, humanity faces a critical point in the climate crisis. From the burning of fossil fuels to the rapid loss of biodiversity, the threats to our planet have never been more urgent. In this video, we'll break down the biggest environmental threats we face today, why they matter, and what's at stake. I'm going to start off with one problem not many talk about: poor government. While many countries have signed on to climate agreements like the Paris Agreement, the lack of enforcement means global cooperation remains weak. Despite the urgency of the climate crisis, without stricter laws, transparent leadership, and international accountability, we'll continue to see ineffective climate action and poor regulation. The problem isn't just the lack of action, it's also the inconsistent policies that often protect the fossil fuel industry. Because of these poor governments, we have the following 9 problems. Number 2 being global warming, and I know it's a broad one that most know a bit about, so we're going to go over it fast. 2023 was the hottest year on record, with global temperatures sitting 1.46 Celsius above pre-industrial levels. Atmospheric CO2 is above 420 parts per million, which is more than double the levels before the Industrial Revolution. Carbon emissions continue to drive climate change, with devastating impacts ranging from heat waves, droughts, and the rapid melting of glaciers. Number 3 is biodiversity loss. This is one of the most alarming environmental issues, and it's happening without most knowing. A 2020 report from WWF reveals that there has been a 73% decline in wildlife populations from 1970 to 2020. That's only a span of 50 years. The main culprit of this being habitat loss, largely driven by deforestation and land use changes. More than 500 species of land animals are on the brink of extinction, with this rate accelerating due to human activities. This appropriately leads us into our 4th problem, deforestation. Every hour, the forest the size of 300 football fields are destroyed, with devastating consequences for our ecosystem, which we've already covered in this video. In places like Brazil, 1.5 million hectares of forest are cleared every year. The Amazon alone is home to millions of species and produces 20% of the world's oxygen. If deforestation continues at this rate, the planet could lose all of its forests within 100 years. That means people born today may see the end of forests in the future. Then there's the plastic pollution. Yeah, generic, but we still haven't gotten the point across clear enough. 14 million tons of plastic enters our oceans every year. That's equivalent to 1.9 million school buses, a number expected to double by 2040. Plastic pollution not only harms wildlife, but disrupts entire ecosystems, leaving behind toxins that take centuries to degrade. Next up, rising sea levels. I feel this one is so underrepresented. I'm currently writing a research paper on this issue, and trust me, the world should be worried. The ice sheets in Greenland and Antarctica are melting at an alarming rate. In 2023 alone, Greenland lost a record 60 billion tons of ice. At the current pace, we can expect global sea levels to rise by as much as 0.7 meters by the end of the century. This rise would destroy coastal forest because of the introduction of saltwater into freshwater supplies and cause many other problems such as mass migration and loss of key industries. Number 7, ocean acidification. This is another threat tied to our carbon emissions, as the ocean absorbs around 30% of our carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Their pH levels are becoming more acidic, threatening marine life. For anyone who has ever kept fish tanks will know how detrimental this can be. Ocean acidification weakens coral reefs, and with coral reefs already at the risk of disappearing by 2050, we could lose some of the most biodiverse ecosystems on Earth. Number 8, agriculture. Being a major contributor to climate change and soil degradation, the food system is responsible for up to 1/3 of human-caused greenhouse gases, with livestock production alone contributing to 30% of global emissions. At the same time, agriculture is one of the largest users of fresh water, with farming consuming 3/4 of the world's freshwater resources. Number 9, mining. Similar to agriculture, mining provides essential materials from everything from electronics to infrastructure. However, this extraction takes a massive toll on the environment. Mining often involves the extraction of metals and minerals in ways that are highly invasive and damaging to land. Deforestation, water contamination, and soil erosion are just the beginning. Many mining activities result in toxic waste that can leach into nearby water sources, polluting rivers and lakes, harming both aquatic life and local populations. For example, mining for gold and cobalt can release harmful chemicals like mercury and cyanide. And finally, overfishing. Around 30% of the world's fish stocks are overfished, meaning we're depleting fish populations faster than they can regenerate. This affects entire ocean ecosystems. I don't know if anyone remembers the 7th grade science class where we learned about food chains, but pretty much, in layman's terms, if one animal population is affected, so are the rest. This removal of 30% of the world's fish stock is having an overwhelming effect on our aquatic ecosystems. I think one takeaway from this mess is all these problems are interconnected. Now, I wouldn't say there's a silver bullet, and I know we highly frown upon government intervention, but that might be just what we need to prevent problems such as these. Regulations on how we fish, mine, farm, and produce can mean the difference between 1 and 1 million species going extinct. Further innovation is also needed to find ways to be more efficient and less devastating for our environment, such as using bamboo as our primary source of wood because of its fast-growing capabilities and ability to be cultivated on farms. I hope I was able to give you guys a better understanding of the problems we're facing, so together we can find new solutions before it's too late. If you enjoyed today's video, please like and subscribe.